Hey guys, Tisha here, and we are back for another Sister Wives Season 8 review. This was extremely draining to the point where I felt like I was the one getting the divorce, okay? I want to start off by asking the question, if Mary thinks that we seriously believe that she had been thinking about divorcing Kody for 5 years, because we don't. Well, I don't. I need to calm down because I already found myself getting upset because I feel like y'all are playing in our faces at this point with this whole thing. I just don't see it. I don't like it. Anyways, we begin this episode with Mary in the attorney's office wanting to see about a legal divorce. Yeah, right. She said Robin has 3 kids from her previous marriage and they've wanted to get adopted by Kody. Who is they? The kids wanted it? Did Kody want it? Is Robin they? Is the family they? Like, who is they? Because to me, the they really is the feathered crew. Even later on when we see Christine's reaction, it feels really put on to me. It feels kind of fake. I feel like Christine did want them to be a part of the family, but I think that at this point, Christine has learned that every little thing that she's done or is doing is being put under a microscope, and her actions and reactions are being looked at by the birds. So as a result, she puts, like, if she's excited to a level 10, she's going to give you a 20 because they perceive that as her being a good sister wife. Anyways, so Mary says that in order for them to adopt these kids, she assumes that Robin would need to be legally married to Kody. According to Mary, she knows that Kody is very concerned about his role as a father. She knows that he wants to be their father and that the situation with Robin's ex is not the most healthy situation. And I'm like, okay, Mary is speaking like she's privy to every aspect of their marriage firsthand, like she witnessed the things that Robin went through with her ex. Even at this point, everything that Mary knows is coming from Robin. And we've all seen how Robin lies, how Robin manipulates things. So she's just going off what Robin has said. They've been calling Kody daddy this entire time. Why wasn't that enough? Because the bird wanted to make sure that if anything happens, that her kids are going to be good. She has been working on this from day one. And I'm going to say it a few times because that's all I kept feeling while I was watching the episode. So she says if anything were to happen to Robin, they wouldn't have any legal claim on those 3 children. Well, you technically wouldn't have claim on them either if they got adopted. The only person who's going to have claim on them would be Kody, because he would be their father legally if adopted. So what is all this they talk? What is all this we talk? I think Mary feels like she can actually pull this off. And even though she does want to do this, that it will give her some type of standing in Kody's eyes. I could be wrong. I just feel that way. Okay. Mary claims that she doesn't want the kids to be pulled away if anything were to happen, that she's coming to see this attorney because she wants to find out all the information before she goes to Kody and Robin with it. Best believe Kody and Robin are already aware of all of this. Mary did not come up with this on her own. How did Mary even think at this point that adoption was a possibility? How does she even know that the kid's biological father would be willing to sign his rights away? Does that make sense? Like, this doesn't make sense to me. They obviously had these discussions prior to this scene. She said her and Kody need to get the divorce so Robin can legally marry him and that the children are involved, and that's what she wants to do it. She feels like this is the easiest way so they don't have to be involved. And the attorney says that it would be ideal to do it this way, that they don't have to worry about involving the children in the process. Him saying ideal does not mean that this was the one and only way that they could do it. They could have went about it another way. They could have. Mary talks about the misconception that all of them have legal licenses in polygamy. We know that that's bigamy, but okay. She talks about that. We don't live under a rock. We get it. All four of them have a spiritual marriage, and to them, the spiritual marriage means more, but their reaction shows otherwise. Their reaction very much shows that Kody, as well as the wives, understand that that legal documentation does mean something, okay? They aren't dividing up property or debts, so the attorney tells her that she could just go with a joint petition, which means it's a piece of paper. They don't even have to go to court. It gets sent over to the court. The judge normally looks at it and gives you like a 10-day cooling off period. He then sends it back over. They would then come in and sign it, and that's it. She said that she doesn't think that they'll be qualified for adoption because of how their family is, and it's such a questionable choice. I'm struggling with this. Struggling with all of it. Because I feel like Mary is saying a lot of we to convince herself that she matters in this process. And the sad thing is, I think that Mary still to this day, based on what she said in season 18, feels like she would do this all over again. I feel like Mary is naive because yes, this decision may have helped her in the long run as far as now being divorced. She doesn't have to worry about her assets being tied up with Kody. But I think that she still doesn't get that they did not have to go this route. I do not think they really had to go this route. I think they could have went about it another way. Now, would it have taken longer? Probably, but they could have went about it another way. Now, some people feel like she doesn't regret it because it made it a lot easier. Okay, I said that. He says it's a lot easier. Mary says her doing this will be a shift. It's where that something that has always been will no longer be. And she finds out that after the divorce is done, that Kody and Robyn could get married as soon as the next day. For Mary to do this, when at this point we now know they were not in a good place, I want to know what was her logic. Do you all think that Mary thought that this would bring her closer to Kody? Or is it, I don't know. I just feel like Mary did it. Yes, she did it for the kids, but I think that she thought she would gain something from it as well. I know she loved the kids, but I don't think Mary was really looking at the full picture. Anyways, she tells him to go ahead, that they're going to move forward with the divorce at this point, even though she supposedly hasn't presented this to Kody. So she's claiming the attorney, we know, has also not spoken with Kody. He doesn't hesitate to tell her that he'll go ahead and draft up those papers. So we're supposed to believe that this was something that wasn't previously discussed, even though the attorney has not said a word to Kody to verify that they did both agree upon this. She says, I'm going to go home, get them prepared. Please email me and I'll talk to them about it. And then we can set up that appointment for us to come and sign it. The wives were included too late on this. They say they're a family, but they do a lot of things outside of the family, and they make decisions before even considering the family, because this shouldn't have been sprung on the other wives, because it wasn't sprung on Kody and Robyn. So she claims she's happy about the decision, but she's sitting there looking like she's ready to bust out crying. She says it's scary for her to be doing this divorce, and she doesn't want to be something that she does for nothing, as far as it not then later resulting in them adopting the kids. If you're worried about the kids possibly not being adopted after the divorce, then why even do it? She says they're still their biological father, and it's not like he's out of the picture, so they have to deal with that. I really wish to this day that their father came out and said some things. I know that according to the blogs and things of that nature, that he's dealing with cancer. I just feel like his family, his new family, deserves for the truth to be told and for his name to be cleared. It's not fair to him. It just seems really, really cruel. Mary has Cody and Robin come over. She claims she's nervous to tell them and that they won't take it the right way. I want her to stop playing in our faces. We know they talked about this. Anyways, the reaction of her saying divorce alone didn't solicit enough of a response to me from Cody to make me believe that this is something that they haven't previously talked about. Let's look at when Christine brought up divorce. Look at how Cody reacted with that. And when Janelle said separation, look at how he reacted with that. But here it's the D word and it doesn't really give anything. Mary says it and it's crickets. So Robin claims to not know why Mary wants them to come over and talk to her. She thinks it has something to do with her, her schooling. And Cody claims that he doesn't know what to expect either. Cody then says to her as they sit down, "What's up? Is this about the business or what?" That doesn't even sound believable, because if this was really a business conversation, wouldn't the other two wives be there as well? Because when have we seen them have a family meeting about the business and not try to have all the wives included? Mary, who normally talks in circles in order to get to the point and to try to present something, then cut straight to the point and says, "I had an appointment with the lawyer about getting a legal divorce." What lawyer? How did they not question what lawyer she had this appointment with? Who was the person? None of that came out because they already knew that she was going to do this. Both Robin and Cody give her the same surprise look. She says, "So you guys can get married and try to adopt the kids." Robin starts to do a bunch of blinking because she has to make herself cry. Son, if you want to do something, go ahead. It's okay. TLC plays the sappy music to make us feel like this is a heartfelt moment, which totally did not work for me. Cody says, "Oh, I get it." Robin's sitting there. Yes, blinking, 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 blink, 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 blink. My son just walked past me, and if you could see how he looked at me. Anyways, she was doing so much blinking because she was trying to get these tears out. But because they didn't come out, she then switches to, "So, are you sure?" Mary is sitting there with a red face, eyes full of water, as she says, "It's just something I've been thinking about for a long time." Mary, why are you lying to us so much? We know that that's not the truth. We know that you have not been thinking about this on your own for a long time. We know that this is something that at some point Cody put in your head. Isn't it ironic that you say you've been thinking about this for 5 years, which equates to the amount of time that Robin has been known by you? So you want us to believe that you thought about divorcing your husband for a woman that he wasn't even married to yet? Does that make sense, people? No. But who's been thinking about it from day one? Oh, the bird. The bird has been thinking about it from day one. Because why are we being told 5 years? She's been married 4, but we're being told 5? Who is supposed to believe this? Who? Let me get back to my notes. Robin says, "I love that woman. The love and the sacrifice that she's offering up is huge to me." This family has never mattered to Robin, ever. Ever. It didn't matter to her. Because if it did, she wouldn't have went about this way. They talk about how the family's going to feel. Janelle's going to go with the flow, so I thought, which she ended up doing. And I thought that Christine would be hurt, but that's not what we saw. Anyway, so Robin says She's had conversations with the kids and Cody, which usually end up in Cody saying that he wishes could adopt them, and that the kids have expressed how they love him and they see him as a dad, and they want him, they want to be his. And I just don't believe this. I don't. It may be different for other people. If you have a story that you want to share, feel free to leave it down in the comment section below. But I know in my family, my eldest aunt, she was addicted to drugs and she disappeared. She basically left a note, left my cousin with my grandmother, and disappeared. And as a result, my youngest aunt and my grandmother raised my cousin. Now, at some point, my eldest aunt did come back around when she was a teenager. But before all of that, and I mean like late in her teens, almost adult. But before all of that, at no point, even though my cousin knew that my youngest aunt wasn't really her biological mother, at no point did she say, can you all adopt me? I want you to all adopt me. Can you adopt me? Can you adopt me? She was just calling her mom. And I feel like this whole adoption thing is something that both Robin and Cody put in these kids' head. I don't see kids who weren't raised in foster homes or things of that nature thinking firsthand about an adoption. And I could be wrong, but I just struggle with it because I feel like somebody had to put that in their head. Robin says, it seems like me not being married to Cody legally is huge. It's a huge wall in the adoption process. So with Mary offering this up, it's like, well, this is the answer. As I said before, Cody and Robin already looked into this because why is she telling us that this is a wall? Cody says, Mary, we will stay married after the divorce will continue. And we'll continue on with our lives. Like, this hasn't changed anything. The divorce is it. But at that point, once he knew he got this divorce, Cody and Robin both got exactly what they needed out of her, which was to not be tied to Mary. He says, are you promising that there's nothing that's going to change for us? I'm asking you, there's nothing that's going to change, right? This is Cody's attempt to make us feel like he really plans on being with Mary and like he's legitimately concerned, but I don't buy it. This was an example of that acting that Cody talks about. So Mary finds it funny that he's asking her this. He says, take the kids out of context and understand the shock that I'm feeling that you're saying that you want a divorce and you talk to a lawyer about it. Mary is confused, but I'm thinking Mary's confused because she knows that they already talked about this. But Mary's not going to throw that little bald bird under the bus. He's not going to do it. Instead, she's not going to do it. Instead, what she's going to do is she's going to talk in circles with them because both Cody and Mary are really good at talking in circles. He says the D word has a bad definition in their culture. Mary then says, technically speaking, as it stands, because she's the one with the license, she would take care of any issues involving sickness or accidents or death with Cody. She says that now they're going to have the same faith in Robin, that if anything were to happen, that Robin would do the same thing. And Robin has never looked out for anyone but herself. So why would Mary believe this? Look at how things are now. Look at what the case is like now. Mary, you're sitting here saying that Robin will look out for you, but is she looking out for you when it comes to Coyote Pass? Because you have 2 acres with whom you share with Cody. And from what I'm understanding now, Janelle's on it too. Meanwhile, she has 4. How is that Robin looking out for you? Cody then says, I don't want this to change things with me and my bird. His bird talks about how she... He didn't say my bird, but you know. His bird talks about how she felt so trapped by the legal marriage. And it was the strangest thing in the world going through a divorce. And Mary says, I've always known that it was your desire, Cody, to adopt these kids. And I've always known or highly suspected that there was only one way to do it. The attorney that we just saw her speak to did not say that that was the only way to do it. What he said was, this is the easiest way to do it. The little birdie says, I wish that you didn't have to do this, that it didn't have to be this way. It's just very, very, very sweet and very giving. Robin has the voice like she's crying. She's making the faces like she's crying. But once again, no tears are coming out. Where are the tears? Where are the tears? Where are the tears? I want to know, where are the tears? Meanwhile, Mary is sitting on the opposite couch, face red again. Tears just flowing freely as she's trying to wipe them away. She says, I don't quite think the kids will understand. This is Robin. Let me say it again. I don't quite think the kids will understand. She then stops herself because she knows that she already told us that this is something the kids wanted. She told us that the kids wanted the adoption. She says, it will mean a lot of differences in their life. As the kids have gotten older, their biological father spends less and less time with them, which is what Robin wanted. She wanted him to spend less time with them. She adds, he doesn't financially take care of them at all. He wasn't taking care of them when they first got divorced. So why would she think that we thought he was going to take care of them now? That's part of the reason why the bird got with the Browns, because she saw a money grab. He isn't calling them on a regular basis. He doesn't pay child support. He's just an absentee. He's absent in their lives. There are a lot of us that can say the same thing, but at no point would some of us sit there and try to have our partners adopt our kids. To me, that is a decision that should be made by the children and whatever adult without their influence. Because best believe Cody and Robin had their name written all over this adoption. She says Cody is their dad and he's making sure they will have what they need. I'll never forget the scene when Robin wasn't even married to Cody yet, and she was sitting there with the picture of the family, and she had the moms, herself, and Cody, and she was pointing to each adult in the picture. And when she got to Cody, Brianna said Cody, and she looked at her and said, Daddy, Daddy. So even before she got married, she was encouraging those children to call Cody dad. At what point is that right? I'm just saying. Is it right to force that upon your kids? You're not even married yet, but you're sitting there making them call this man daddy. She wanted to erase their father out of their lives, and she succeeded, because their father, in my opinion, and I don't want to speak too ill of him, but he has no backbone. Because if he really, really, really cared about his kids, he should have fought for them. I understand that TLC is big and all those other things, but there were people who would have helped you. Because a lot of us got tired of Robin really early on. And I'm sure a GoFundMe or something could have been started to get you to help battle TLC, because this is ridiculous. So from day one, those were her intentions, to make Cody the daddy. So she says he's loving on them emotionally and loving them. He's their dad. He said that that's what it's been all about. He is dad, and with Mary doing this, he can finally put on his gloves and protect them and just get ready, and he has his hands free to do what he wants to do. Mary then suggests that they let Janelle and Christine know what's going on. Now, this is what she says, and I'm thinking that they let them know right after this meeting, but that's not what happened. So, Mary is nervous because she doesn't want them to say, why didn't you divorce before, Mary, for my sake? Mary is sitting there still crying as she says, she's sitting there crying, and Cody says, all I can say is thanks. Robin gets up, doing the fake cry yet again, and hugs her. Not one tear as they're embracing is shed by Robin, but she's making all of the various sounds that you would make, the sniffles and the and nothing is coming out, like not a single tear, and she's not red in the face, to the point where even the cameraman notices she's not, turning color, so he pulls away so you don't see the dramatics of it all. So Cody and Mary talk to Leon about the divorce, let them know that they're gonna do it, and Leon says everything's okay. Cody thought it was gonna be a significant barrier. Leon says, I get why you're doing it. They need to have Browns as a last name. Mary then says the next step is for Robin and her to talk to Janelle and Christine about what's going on. I don't think Robin should have been included in the first discussion, because I don't think that the women got to respond or express themselves the way they wanted to. But then again, they probably couldn't have done that in front of Mary anyways, because Mary too is a snake and a snitch, just like how sometimes the other ones are. Kody says he doesn't expect them to take it well. All the ladies go to Mary's and talk, and she's concerned and she's overthinking it. Mary says she hopes that there's no upset. She doesn't see why there would be, though, but she hopes nothing's going to happen. They have a very legitimate reason to be upset. They have all been together prior to Robin for over 20 years. And here comes this woman who's been with Kody for 5 years, 4 of which is married. And she's getting something that some of these women probably wanted themselves. So she tells them, I've been thinking about divorcing Kody legally so that Robin can marry him and then they could adopt the kids. And Christine's mouth is open. I feel like Christine then immediately put on an act. And she says, geez, Mary, that's really, really beyond sweet of you. Christine then hugs her. Christine says, we don't usually see legal marriage higher than spiritual one, but it is still part of her identity. It's still part of Mary's identity. She had the legal marriage. She says but we know several episodes that she has mentioned how she never had the legal marriage. And we've seen how somber she looked when Aspen was getting married and she saw that marriage certificate and said she never had it. So it did matter to Christine, but she's doing what they're supposed to do, which is suppress it, put it down, and push through. She says it's pretty amazing. She doesn't normally hug Mary, but in that moment, she just had to give her a hug because she couldn't imagine doing that herself. Robin says Christine's reaction was endearing and it was very sweet and it made her happy. It was like Christine wants to support it. She loves the kids and she knows that this would be good for the family. Robin took note, just like Mary did, that Janelle wasn't saying anything. Janelle, in this instance, is showing one of the reasons why she used to be my favorite, because Janelle looks perturbed. She looks pissed. She looks like she wants to snap, but she says nothing. The look on Janelle, who is normally stoic with her expressions, says it all to me. Christine says, when is this going to take place? And Mary says tomorrow. So this is how much they care about these women, that they sprung this on them at the last minute, even though we know they had at least 10 days because the attorney said that that's about how long it takes for the judge to see the paperwork, send it back, okay? Christine's mouth pops open and they laugh like it's funny. Janelle says, wow. Mary says she noticed right away that Janelle wasn't saying anything. And Christine, on the other hand, is asking a whole bunch of questions and being excited gave Janelle cover. I don't think Janelle was trying to receive any cover. I think that Janelle kept her mouth closed because if Janelle said what she really wanted to say, she too might have been getting a divorce. Robin says, we will start working out things with the kids as soon as possible. I have to try and get hold of my lawyer. As quickly as they're moving along with this process, I'm sure that Robin already got a hold of her lawyer or a lawyer. Christine says when it comes to marriage and the divorce thing, she doesn't care. She just wants the kids adopted and she knows that they have them. I want to know what all was said by Robin to the family that Christine feels like they just have to have these kids, because something isn't adding up to me about the response that we're getting. So she says, I never want to hurt the relationship with him if he's willing to see them. But I don't believe that, because does Robin not think that she hurt the relationship by lying on him, by saying that he took her purity, that she was forced into it, by saying that she wasn't meant to give him something like that, that it was meant for Kody, that Kody was the one who was supposed to have it, by saying that he was never there for the kids and that he never helped her, and all the other additional things that she said about him that we've heard on the TV alone. She says if he wants to see them on his visitation, then that's what they'll do. Then why even need to have these kids adopted? They could have came up with legal paperwork that said in the event of anything happened to Robin, that the family gets to keep these kids, and he could have signed it. You didn't have to sign away the man's rights. He didn't have to sign away his rights. He could have done that in another way, and they could have done it also. But for whatever reason, it played out the way it played out. Mary said this is just about the kids. Janelle takes a deep breath and she says, I wish you would have waited till the first of the year, because this is going to make the taxes a nightmare. They laugh. She says, I'm sorry. It's the only thing I could think of because I'm in shock. I have to hold on to something logical. The producer notices that Janelle never made a comment on it. And he says to Janelle, how do you feel about it, Janelle? And Janelle says, I'm not going to comment on it. That's all I'm going to say. It's about the taxes. Janelle knew right then and there that they were in for trouble. Janelle says she was in shock and she was just swimming. She leaves and Mary says that was awkward. Robin says, I know that she loves the kids, so maybe it's something else. I learned that with Janelle, sometimes it's not what she's hearing, but it's just that Janelle's having a bad day. No, in this case, is definitely what Janelle's hearing. And in Confessions, Janelle says that this divorce will change the fabric of what is. Those types of things make me start to question what the shift will do and mean to me. Because Janelle is always going to think about herself first, which I'm not, let me not do that. She should think about herself. It's valid to think about yourself in this situation. We then see that it's the next day. Cody comes over to talk to Janelle. She says, from the surface level, you would have a hard time and you would think that my reaction was me being mad or sad, but that wasn't the case. I don't believe that part of the story. I don't buy it. I think that Janelle was mad because when they said that they were going to do this the following day, she said, oh, wow. She tells Cody, caught me off guard. It's always been one way, that she's not great with change and it worries her. She asks him to please be patient with her. She worries that he'll start favoring Robin and that it will change the dynamic and the balance won't be there. At that point, Cody already started favoring Robin. Before any of this happened, he was favoring Robin. She said when she's not rational, she worries about it. Cody said he doesn't feel like the dynamic is going to change at all, that him and Robin aren't riding off into the sunset. For a woman who's been married to you for 4 years to now have this title, it does change. Whether they want to come out and say it or not, it does. And it changes their rights. It changes what they have access to, which is why currently Janelle has a property that is tied up into you, Robin, and Mary for this very reason. Okay. Cody says it seems like a big adjustment, but it's just procedural. It brings her kids into the family so they don't feel like they're separated by the name. So if this is about a name, then just change your name to Browns, like what you did with Christine and Janelle. You can do a legal name change. Janelle says it's important to have the children in her life, and for that reason, she understands that this divorce is needed. He says as long as Mary doesn't behave any differently and Robin doesn't, nothing will change. And Janelle says as long as you, Cody, don't behave differently. He says he won't. It's procedural in his mind, and that's what Mary's intention is. He says he doesn't want people to look at this family and say that it's illegitimate, that they are a family, and that the legal process is for the kids. Cody says that their spiritual marriage matters the most, but for some reason they're putting so much meaning into this divorce. Janelle says they are at the best place. They have been in their marriage, and now she can't tell if it's changing or not. Janelle says her insecurities are irrational, and she doesn't want Robin to think it's about her. And I don't think her insecurities are irrational. I think that she had every reason to feel that way. Mary is at her house printing out divorce papers, not feeling well. They claim she had a lot of time to process it and get through the emotions. She claims she had a lot of time to process it and get through the emotions and stuff. But she's sitting there and her eyes are filled with tears and she's dizzy. She claims that she's had dizzy spells off and on for 15 years without explanation. She says that she feels like there's a dark cloud hanging over her, that there's a somber feeling in the air, and she knows what needs to be done. Robin is there to be a witness. Dumb. Out of all the things on the paper, the only thing that Cody is concerned about is the property and the debts. Mary says, basically, Robin, he's concerned about if I won't get anything. Poor Tink. Tink! I'm going to start calling Mary that more. Tink. She doesn't even realize that he doesn't care about what she's getting. He's thinking about himself when he made that statement. And I don't think she gets it, maybe not until season 18. Anyways, Robin knows that if Cody passes, that everything will fall on her. It's something that she takes into consideration. And she knows that Mary and the other wives have taken it into consideration too. And now she looks at it as a responsibility, and that she doesn't want the legal marriage to matter, but it will matter if something big happens. It's only in Robin's head to her, she says, because she's seen women with this power abuse it. When the husband passes, they make it all about themselves, and it's stressful to her. If you plan on being fair, it shouldn't be stressful. Robin says she's having anxiety about being legally married again. Oh, poor Robin. I call BS. This is what she wanted from day one. They meet the lawyer. Cody goes over the whole spiel about how this isn't changing anything and this is just for the children and yada, yada, yo. We know that because they've said it this entire episode. They try and joke about things. The notary is called. Mary begins to cry. Kody attempts to soothe her by rubbing her back. He just did this because he wanted to make sure that she signed that paper. Mary signs as she's crying and Kody signs. Kody says the energy of the word divorce is angering him a little bit. I don't believe anything that comes out of his mouth at this point. If he was angered by anything, it was the fact that Mary was sitting there crying. He says he hates that this is heartbreaking and they have to fight against an institutionalized word that has so much power as to influence us for the negative. He's angry that he has to deal with it. Shut up, you little bald eagle, you. It does not make sense that Kody is making this thing seem like it's hurting him so much when the only person in that situation, in that room with the three of them in there who was hurting was Mary. We can say what we want to say about Mary. I don't know what her intentions were. You all tell me what you think it was. But I feel like Mary was truly heartbroken because she did understand what this also could mean. No one told Kody to marry 4 women. I don't even think that he got divine revelation or a testimony and all those other things that he said because he doesn't treat those women with care. Robin says that at this point, there are a few walls and Mary has taken care of the marriage wall. Her second wall is the rights to her exes, her ex's right to her kids. If he's so uninvolved, did she really have to worry about him trying to take the kids, and was he really a wall? And the third wall for her is if the judge will sign off for Kody to become their father by law. This war has just begun, as she says, which we know Kody feels like there's a civil war with the family. So I guess this is a war against the government to make sure that her kids have Kody as their father. And they just won the first battle. Their attorney says, this is a hard life. And Robin says, if I wasn't in this life, I wouldn't be able to experience this. This is very special. It's very special to me. It's very special that Robin has put that nail in Mary's coffin. I got it. I feel like this episode just showed how much Mary was just in denial about the state of everything. And I really think that Mary believed that she was doing this for the greater good and so those kids could be a part of their family. But there were other ways that they could have done this that did not involve Mary getting divorced. I also think that it's very inconsiderate to pull this information out of the hat when you've been supposedly thinking about it for 5 years and you tell the women a day before you're going to sign it. I think that is very insensitive to feel like those women didn't have a reason to be bothered by the fact that this other woman was going to have a legal marriage, which also meant that she was going to have access to Kody's estate, whatever it is. And if I were those women, when they did all of this, I would have begun to start pulling my money out of their stuff because they can't be trusted. You all, let me know what you think down below. Please like the video if you have not done so already. It helps me in the algorithm. I've reached my 1,000, but I still want to keep climbing, y'all. We're not stopping here. I have another goal. I do. Ooh. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time.